Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Simply Colorful Fibercast. Today's date is June 5th, 2020. My name is Lynn Marquidant, and I'm your host. Welcome. I hope you've had a good week. We are going to be working on, yet again, our COVID grad quilt. Last week, we redid the center, and thanks to your help and suggestions, we switched it out from just pure squares to a medallion, and I hope you agree that it improves it. And thankfully, you can't see it up close because it is not perfect. So we're going to keep going. I think this will be the last week for this quilt. I think maybe we'll do one more week. I'm feeling like I want to do something completely different, but we'll see. For now, we're going to keep playing with this. This started out as a quilt for my niece who is going to be graduating from Boston College. Their colors are maroon and gold. So let's jump right in. And as always, make sure to turn on your chat, your live chat. Oh, cool. I see Becca and I see Leah and Dawn. So nice to see you out there. And I think I hear Sue. Oh, she says, I hope you're staying cool. And I'm not really. I'm pretty hot, I must admit. Hi, Maggie up in New Hampshire. And Linda, hello. Hello. So nice to see you here live. Heavy sigh. I've taken 2 walks today. So I'm trying to get the engine going. I took one early in the morning and then I took one in the afternoon. And I can't tell you the number of quilts that come through here in a week is growing, and which is wonderful. And I so want to share them with you, but I find they're either on the machine or they're folded up ready for the client or something or other. So I'll try and post more online. But I'm so glad you're out there. Hi, Pat. Hi, Cherish. Let's get going. We're doing more squares. So I apologize in advance that we're not doing anything as exciting as the medallion. And as I say, it's all sewn together. You can see. Maybe I should show you up close. Hang on. It really was not easy to get it square or put together. And I noticed when I was ironing it that I have some pleats. But there it is. And we, as you might remember, we use this unifying color, this white and maroon, that I'm thinking, although it might be too big, of repeating here. What I think I'm going to do right now is I want to make 4 of these squares to go in each square, in each corner of the diamond. That's what I'm going to do tonight. And I've already started it. And I'm open to suggestions, you know, or I say I am, but I am kind of a classic engineer. It has to be my idea. Kind of kidding. I'm trying to listen more. So, speaking of which, and this is not a jovial conversation or a happy conversation, but it is on the minds of me. I know I have become woke to what's going on in our world. I've spoken about it before, but not in the same terms as I'm seeing it on the news. This whole racism, and I've talked about inequality. And I've seen it in the workplace. I didn't see it for years when I was working in corporate America on the marketing side, in a chair, pushing paper, doing what I was doing, you know, holding events and talking to other like-minded people just like me. When I went to Amazon and started working in the warehouse, that was a light bulb went off. And I'm not going to talk about it much here other than to say that I understand, or I'm starting to learn about how different people have different experiences in this universe, in this world, and they're not all the same. They're not all fair. And I'm going to do what I can from now on to be an ally. So, and I'll get my words better as we go through this. And I welcome your suggestions and ideas. And anyway, that's discussion about color. I wanted to, since we are simply colorful, and I did want to acknowledge what's going on in our world and the protests, they're working. the protests are working because people like me are listening and learning. And that is that. Now, how did we get on that topic? Well, I think that's all I want to say. Oh, listening. So I'm trying to listen and read more and talk less, but I can't really talk less on my own podcast. I hope that makes you laugh because it makes me laugh. Okay. So back to quilting. I want to what I'm thinking is I want to extend each corner with that square. And I've started to make 4 patches. I know, this is like quilting 101, right? And I've cut all of these border pieces. So we should be able to do this. And I've got my iron on. I've got scraps everywhere. And it's hot. What is it doing down under? Wendy, Allie, I hope it's a little bit cooler down there. Whew, I think one more day of humidity here in New England, and then it should get a little drier. Oh, where's my, okay. So, listening more and understanding ooh, that doesn't fit right. That people have been being treated badly for a very long time, and unjustly and unfairly, and it's time to stop, or it's time to teach ourselves about biases we have. We don't even know it. And they're understandable. I'm not justifying any mean acts, but I am justifying the fact that we're all in a certain place at different times in our life. We've all learned and had experiences in different times of our life with different types of people. And at the end of the day, we all breathe oxygen. We all love. We all get our feelings hurt, yada, yada, yada. So let's start behaving like we're all the same in that respect. Okay, enough about that. But it is hard now with COVID plus this, and we're all home. It's hard not to think about. So let's think about quilting. Oh, and talk about taxes. That'll cheer us right up, right? What 2 things are certain? Okay, so unfortunately, and this doesn't make me happy, unfortunately, due to some laws, the Patreon platform, of which many of you are subscribers and supporters of Simply Colorful, and I thank you. It allows us to do the web hosting. It allows us to do special open sews. And the Patreon platform is now having to charge tax on things that are given back to patrons. So, for example, when you become a Simply Colorful patron, you get a gift certificate of worth $20 for machine quilting services. You also get a T-shirt at certain levels. You get free clues. You get, so whatever, but you also are providing a lot of general support and patronage. And for that, I thank you. And for that, that's not taxable. So I have gone into the platform and I have made all Patreon pledges to Simply Colorful 90% non-taxable. That's just general support. The things that of value that you get in each tier, I've designated as 10% of value of your pledge. Then that 10% of value gets taxed at your state's sales tax rate, anywhere from 4 to 11%. And I want to thank Becca for making me dive into this and understand it. And I don't know all the tax rates in each state, and I understand if this is going way too deep and is not of interest, and you just want to to stop being a patron sponsor, I would hate to see you go, but I would understand just on the principle of the thing. I'll give you an example. For patrons who are paying $2 a month, 90% or $1.80 goes toward the web hosting fees. Only 20% goes toward what's tangible in that first level. Is it the t-shirt? Now I'm forgetting what's tangible. It might be the gift certificate. So of that 20 cents, if your state charges tax, it would be between 4 and 11% of that 20 cents, or 1 to 2.5 cents per month. Doesn't sound like much, but we know when they start taxing, taxes don't go down. So again, if you want more information, go to patreon.com. They're outlining it. And that's that for taxes. And Carol Bell, I'm so glad you're out there. Hi, Carol. I am so enjoying our open sews and getting to know people. Is Carol Lewin out there? Carol Lewin, throw us a bone. Let us know if you're there. Because if you're not, we're coming after you via email. We want to know how you're doing. But Carol Bell, thank you for the tips on the medallion. I did it all the same on all 4. Linda Grant says I'm the Energizer Bunny. I have to be, considering all I'm eating. Yikes. It's my reward. I love food. I had an epic bread making fail, and I know I'm not supposed to be making bread anymore, but I did. I put all the ingredients in, and you know with the bread makers, you're supposed to put the layers of ingredients in the directions the way they say, in the order they say. So all of the wet goes in first, then the flour and the seeds, and then the yeast. Well, I put everything in, shut the door, proceeded to hit start, and then realized I didn't put in a quarter of a cup water. So I literally opened the hood, poured in a quarter of a cup water. Of course, it hit the yeast right there. I ended up with a loaf of bread with the most concave head. In fact, I think I did take a picture. Let me see if I can show you and see if it makes sense. So baking really is chemistry, isn't it? Or it's more like chemistry than other cooking, I think. Okay. So I don't know if you can see that. That's the top of the bread maker. As you look in, see how concave it is? And there it is when I took it out. It still tastes good, but the moral of the story is put all of your ingredients in the right order, and especially don't throw warm water on the top directly on the yeast. I don't know, but that doesn't make sense because you're supposed to bloom the yeast, but in this it didn't work. Anyway, Linda Grant, you're an Energizer Bunny too. And I'm glad you're out there. I hope you're well. Carol Ritter, hi. Happy graduation to folks that are graduating. Feels like the graduation season got extended. Doesn't it feel like we've been graduating people for months? Although what else have we had to think about? Lots of people. I don't know if Lindsay and Tim are out there, but lots of weddings postponed, including theirs. I see a question from Cherish. Is mask making ever going to end? Oh, Cherish, not for a while, right? Your masks are beautiful. And I joined your group, by the way. Thank you for the invitation. Feel free to tell people about it. post a link or whatever. I forget the name of it right now, but you're doing good work. Keep making them. Oh, that one is on backwards. I have a basket downstairs that I've been putting masks in after I make them. And at one point, I probably had an inventory of maybe 10. So nothing like you're doing and others are doing, right? And she's making masks for weddings, which is a good idea. You could do all sorts of logos on it. Oh, Linda says she was late, and who am I making the quilt for? Well, I think it's going to be, well, it started out being for my niece, Grace Marquidant, who is going to graduate from BC probably a year from now. And I thought I would start it early. I've also, but I'm not sure she would like it. So then I put it aside and I ordered some BC fabric. And I was just going to do BC fabric on with maroon minky on the back, which I have right here, which is going to be so lush. Yummy. And now I'm liking it more, so maybe it will go to her. So that's a long-winded way of saying I don't know who it's for. It really, when you look at it up close, it is not my best work because it's totally improv. And you actually were one of the ones that kind of pushed me toward doing it this way. You and my sister and Sarah, I just thought, why not play a little bit with the colors I have? So in fact, I took the yellow colors, the bag that you gave me, and I'm using that. Is it hot in Franklin? It is so hot here in Hopkinton. I'm a complainer. Thank you, Cherish. Excellent. Mimi's Designs by Cherish. Perfect. Aw, Leah. Leah, I can't wait to see your ABC quilt. I hope I answered your question okay. And Becca, I hope your quilt arrived. The post office has not been doing a good job, I must say. I'm disappointed. I sent something down. Oh, that one's backwards too. Geez, my eyesight is failing me. Is my mother out there? Hi, Mom. I don't think KB's out there, is she? I wanted to give her some COVID love. What was I saying? Yep. So are you through with graduations? Do you have any more? Do you have weddings? And what are people doing? Not that people are asking, but my advice around weddings is, if you can, get out of the venue, elope, or get the justice of the peace with a few of your family members, and call it a day. Now, that's from someone who has had the privilege of having a wedding. But that doesn't mean you can't have a wedding later. I don't want people to put their lives on hold, have to put their lives on hold. I think that's all I'm saying. Okay. 2 patches were on there backwards. Nice. Oh, good. Thank you, Becca. Oh, we'll have to look at the email. Becca did get the quilt. I'm so glad, and she's putting the binding on it now. Let's see. Oh, I'm so glad. That's fast, too, that you're already doing the binding. I'm impressed. And what did you think about the embroidery? You can tell me if it's too light. Oh, good. Becca says the embroidery is good. Yay. That makes me happy. I'm downloading the picture. If Linda is out there from Amazon, what? Karen and I are here, not together. Oh, Mom, I thought I saw that you and Carrie were together. Hi. Hi. Oh, look at this fun photo from Becca, Heartland Heritage Block of the Month. I love that. I want to make that. Oh, yay. Oh, I love the sewing machine. And it's all the sewing machines. And of course, look at the back. The back has her signature piecing on it. Becca, you're amazing. Wow. Love it. I'm thrilled to be able to work on it. Good. Okay, let's get a few of these done so we can make another corner. So, KB's TG Bob. And TG, if you happen to be there, I'm so sorry you got sick. And I'm so glad, and I'm hoping you're still feeling better every day, a little bit. We were worried. KB's husband, TG Bob, had a fever and chills and headache and did not feel well the beginning of the week. As you can imagine, he's been through all sorts of testing protocols. He took Tamiflu as a precaution, and I just remembered HIPAA regulations. Forget I just said anything. I think I just crossed the line. Okay, let's talk 4-patch. See, we're covering it all. Racism, taxes, HIPAA. Yikes. Oh, good. Maggie says, my son's wedding, was supposed to be in August. On Prince Edward Island. Borders have been closed. Oh, Maggie, bummer. Oh, that would be beautiful. And it will be. I'm sure it will happen. Just not this August, maybe. Okay, a couple more. And you'll notice I'm not even turning the seams or spinning this. I guess I should. Can't not. That would be silly. I've got a piece of, this is when I think this really should go to Grace. I have a piece of one of Bob's corduroy shirts in it. So that's kind of fun. And this is his brother's daughter. All right, so I'm just spinning the seams. This is what Carol Bell does during our open sew, which is so smart Carol, I have a big quilt, that 95 by 95 incher, to bind on tomorrow's open sew, so I don't have to use the machine. That's what we're discovering in this open sew, that any patron can join us. It's free, and it's through Zoom. And if you're part of Patreon, we've posted the link right in there. And we do it on Saturday mornings, 11 Eastern Standard, as well as Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard. And what we've discovered is, or I've discovered, is it's hard to use the machine because it's hard to hear people when they're talking over the machine. So you go and mute, and then someone asks a question, and then you stop and you start. So you don't get a ton done unless you're doing something like ironing or spinning your seams or cutting. Then you can do both, if that makes sense. So I'm thinking binding a quilt will be perfect. Leah could probably, you could bring your knitting or your spinning. Maybe that's what we should do soon. My mother, Money, how's your spinning coming? Remember I said I had a Louet wheel? And it's down at my mother's house for her to use, and it was broken. And she went and fixed it. By the way, I have to pay for that part, Mom. And she fixed it. You're going to be jealous. Leah on the West Coast, Mom, has bought herself an Ashford automated spinner. So instead of having to pump the spinning wheel so it goes around, she's going to have a motor that goes around so that she can just focus on feeding in the fibers. Anyway. Oh no, Mommy, not good? Well, it's hard because of your left-handedness. Everything is backwards, I bet. Keep trying. I know you can do it. If anyone has any spinning tips, we're all ears. Oh, good. Maggie says it's all now next August. The wedding is, and all deposits will be honored. That's good news. That's great. Aw, that's something fun to look forward to. Oh, I'm so glad to see you guys out there. Okay, let's get to making these. So I am now going to get a variety. That looks good. And then we're going to do this and this and this. Here. This almost looks green, this gold. Isn't it interesting how, well, any color can take on all different looks. Okay, that's what we're going to sew together. Well, hello, Andrew Marquidant. Hello, Drew, Molly, Tim, Juliana. It's okay that you're late. We're so glad you're here. We were talking about weddings again. And Juliana and Tim, hoping you're doing well and making the best of a difficult thing. So glad you're there. You saw Maggie's son is postponing his wedding for a year. So glad you're here. So just to catch you up, we're making 4 of this square. Actually 3, because one's already done. And that's going to go in the corner of this quilt. And I've yet to decide if this quilt will be for Grace or not. It's really not very well done, and I don't want to drive her crazy. Because it will drive her crazy that it's not well done. you know? And while I'm here, I'm going to sew all 4 of them together. But what fun. That looks good. Had a good win in the ordering department. I don't know how folks are doing with getting fabric, but I needed some white, warm, and natural for Jean's quilt and wedding quilt. It's a wedding quilt for her niece. And we ordered it, I think, Tuesday, and it arrived Thursday. King size batting. So that is good. That's a wedding that was going to be on the Cape at a very fancy place in July. They canceled it, and now they're getting married in their parents' backyard. Okay. I'm doing all 3 of the centers. You know, I can't stick with one thing very long. I took 2 walks today. I think I've already said that. Okay, let's do one more while we've got the squares. Yeah. We're speed sewing. There. Okay. There's 1. Here's 2. This one we'll just put together. See how we webbed it? Oh. I've been thinking I need to shout out to all of our Patreon sponsors. I'm so thankful for you all. And it pretty much pays for itself because you do get a $20 coupon for machine quilting. So every year. There's 1. As you know, this is my favorite part, this ironing. Gets it so crisp. And I stretch it. I do all the wrong things. There's that. There's Uncle Bobby's shirt. It's corduroy. He's probably worn it at Thanksgiving, Drew. You've probably seen him in it. That's a reason why I do want to give it to Grace, because it would have Uncle Bob's shirt in it. Okay, there we go. Now let's put ends on all 3 of them. How are we doing? Yeah, I think we're going to get them all done. There's 1. Here's 1. Hi to Diane out in California, and Leah, of course, in California, and Linda. Oh, Linda, I love to see your posts on the YouTube channel. Love to know that you're there. It's all good. we saw so many lady slippers today. They're the pink ones, and they start blooming around here the last week of May, the first week of June. I always remember June 5th, and sure enough, today, and I went looking for them a few days ago, and they were there. They were actually peak a few days earlier than I remembered, like the end of May this year. But we must have the right soil out there. There's lots of pine trees and ferns. So now I'm just putting that one, and I'm putting one on the other side here. We're just going to do 3 and then call it. Okay. Do this one. Hi to Debbie and Jean and Chris out there. Okay. Now we have, I guess I am going to iron this one. That's what I did on the last one. Here's 1. 2. Oh, if Kathy Gamache is out there, what beautiful quilts you brought over today. Lovely. And Sarah, if you're out there, thank you for the introduction to Lisa. She looks just like you. Of course, I didn't know she was your sister until she came over and she told me. But then I saw the resemblance right away. Okay, now I'm going to sew these cornerstones onto all of these remaining sashes. Drew, this is what they call chain piecing. Hey, Allie, you are here. Yay. How about our friend Wendy, who's doing the dot painting on rocks? I am so sold. I'm going to try that this weekend. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, look up Mandela dot painting. Or go to Wenzart, Wenzart group. And Wendy Alford. Hopefully I didn't do that too many times. 1, 2, I bet I did. 3, 4, no, 5, 6. Okay, now we go and we put these on the other side. Oh, it's hard to get out of bed when you're in Australia. Yes. I'm glad you did. I love to see all the quilts you're making. You are, as always, cranking. And Anne out there on the Channel Isles, hello. Anne was working on her Unity quilt when we were on the show, on the Open Sew on Wednesday. And Sue Whitford, how are your 9 dresses coming? Sue is making doll dresses for a swap. And I guess they don't have to fit on a doll. It's more like, it's really an art, or I don't know if it could be a pin or a collage or anything, but it's a way, it's like trading cards, but you trade a piece of art that you made. And in this case, they're making doll dresses. And again, on Wednesday, so we had a bit of a block. And Sue, if I know you, it's because you were trying to be perfect. And what's that saying? That, of course, it's too overused, but sometimes finished is better. Done is better than good. No. Finished. If my sister were here, she'd know it. Done is better than good. No, that's not it. Win. You'll see I'm not even pinning these. I ironed one side this way, these open. And then I want to purposely leave this a bit more malleable and nest the seams on each corner and then just go from there. And some of my middle squares are not exactly 8.5 inches. That's okay. You can squinch it up a little. I must say I'm pleased that my sewing machines are putting up with the amount of sewing we're doing around here. Oh, Sue says, thank heaven those doll dresses don't have to fit all on a doll. They're all made just sitting here putting the finishing touches on. Hopefully in the mail tomorrow. Good job. Yay. That's wonderful. Way to go. I'm thinking if I get into this dot painting, of course I could make one. Do you think I could find a round rock first off? So I have, you know, I'm stuck before I even begin because it has to be just the right round rock, smooth. So I've taken paper clay and I've put paper clay over a rock and I'm waiting for it to dry because I want to sand the paper clay so that it's smooth, and then I'll paint my black gesso. So this is a classic case of I'm going to be preparing. See, I'm procrastinating. And my excuse will be that I don't have all the right supplies. Anyway, what I was going to say was, once I get to it, I thought maybe I could dot paint some stationery. That would be a good use, you know? Or thank you cards or birthday cards. Hey, hey, hey. I think we just finished one. There we go. Let's iron it. Put it up there. I love seeing that everyone is out there and that you're getting to know each other, because, man, do we need friends in this world. Oh, and Marcella, your quilt is on its way because it's in Arkansas. They said, the U.S. Postal Service said it will get there by next Monday. Okay, so there is another one. Let's see if we. Can you see the other side? Yeah. Let's do it over here. Can you see that a little bit? Maybe I should take down all of these. I was just playing with this. Okay. So there are two. Now we'll do the top and bottom. And all we have to do is 2 more seams. Yay! There's that. Actually, we might as well iron it and put it up. Thanks, Leah. Okay. So there's another one. I don't think you can see all the way down. The question is, oh, I'm liking it. The question is, what do we do all in here? I guess maybe we will have to do this one more week. We'll have to do this. How lucky are we? And again, that comes full circle to what we started off this conversation with. Let's try to listen. Like I say, I have been woken to the real inequality that exists across this country and the mistreatment of ethnicities, Black people, brown people, lots of discrimination everywhere. But it's time to hopefully take the next step and do less of it. Educate, learn about each other, provide economic opportunity for advancement, pay workers a decent living, a decent wage. Corporations are taking advantage of workers in the factories. That's probably too blanket a statement based on what little. I'm doing this again. It's too thin a seam. But someone who is moving packages or working in a factory 40 hours a week should make enough money to be able to put not a house. This is why I don't talk about this stuff, but I have to, because I want to acknowledge that there's a lot that I have to learn about other how people are mistreated. Have been mistreated for a long time. So be kind, do what you love what you do. Kelly Clarkson says, if you're not, have a good day, and if If you're not having a good day, change it. I like that one. Okay. There is our final square. And I know you can't see this, and I can hardly, well, it'll go up there somehow. How'd we do? Did I miss? I want to make sure I said hi to everyone. Finished is better than perfect. Carol Bell comes to the rescue again. Thank you. Becca has already finished the binding. Way to go. Way to go. Well, that is accomplishment. See what you did in 60 minutes? Oh, thank you all for joining me. What a great time I've had. I appreciate you being here. Oh, did you just see that? The fourth block dropped. Come back next week and see what we do next on this quilt. Bye, everyone. Bye, Andrew. We need a puppy in this fibercast. I know it. I'm back on to thinking it's on. So stay tuned. Bye, everyone.